What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Trey, and today I'm going to be talking about health anxiety and my throat cancer scare that was associated with it. Go ahead and smash the like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt. Leave me a comment as well. Let me know if you can relate with me, because this is what these health anxiety scare videos are all about. I'm just trying to relate with you guys and show some of you out there that I had a lot of the similar fears that you have. Okay, I don't replace a doctor or psychologist, therapist, counselor. I don't replace the professionals, but I do try to take my negative experiences in order to relate with y'all and hopefully help you. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to spread some awareness, some mental health awareness. The world needs it right now. So with my health anxiety, obviously, I've told you guys about it. I self-diagnosed myself just like that. It was so easy. I used Google, other various websites to confirm my worst nightmares, my worst fears, because I always assumed that I was dying or was going to gradually die or eventually succumb to some nightmarish disease whenever I was going through my health anxiety. So that was horrible. Thought I was dying every single day, self-diagnosing myself, tons of different scares. The first half of my health anxiety, I was primarily worried about my heart, but after that, I kind of got comfortable with that. I started to realize, hey, I wasn't having 5 heart attacks every single day and miraculously surviving, and I actually started to believe the doctors. But health anxiety wasn't done with me yet, because I hadn't really worked on my root causes, my root issues. So I graduated to other diseases and cancers. So I told you guys about me having this colon cancer scare. Also told you guys about my lymphoma scare. But before both of those, this is right whenever I first got with my wife. This is right before we were married. I had a cold, okay? But this was a little different. I didn't assume that I had throat cancer because I just had a scratchy throat, and that's how irrational I was with my health anxiety. I was okay whenever I had colds, I didn't freak out or think the worst. But this cold was a little bit different, and that's all it took for me to jump to conclusions. I guess the lesions that were in my throat were a little bit deeper, so it felt a little bit more bruised, a little bit more intense. It wasn't scratchy, it was deep. And that really freaked me out. I had never dealt with that. I had always, and it seemed localized in just a couple little areas down here. So I was freaking out. I go Google, okay, and in everything that I found, localized pain, pain when swallowing, of course, the worst of worst is going to be at the top, because that sells, and it's the most deadly out of all the issues going on with your throat. And it said throat cancer, and I was like, oh my God, that's what I have. That's got to be it. So immediately, my heart rate would go up. Had a little panic attack, nothing huge, not the same type of panic attacks that I had whenever I was dealing with my heart, fears, because that was more sudden. At least cancer, I had time to say my goodbyes and fight it. So I had a panic attack, a shorter one, and then instantly became depressed. And then I started thinking about my children, my soon-to-be wife. I was going to end up leaving her on this planet because I was going to be one of the rare people that died from throat cancer at such a young age. So what did I always do whenever I first thought I had cancer? I would look up statistics on how many people overcame this cancer, what was the prognosis, the average, lifespan, people that dealt with this. An average age, and of course the odds were not in my favor to have this at all, even though I had drank and I did smoke for a couple years. The odds were still not in my favor to have this at that age, but I still was like, that's not mattering to me right now. I'm actually dying from throat cancer. So I threw all the statistics out the window, as if it didn't make any sense that I threw them out the window. I was searching for them, but that's just what I did. Even when I found some good news, I didn't appreciate it or take it into factor. Same thing would happen whenever I would go to the doctor. So I went to go see a doctor over this, and he actually kind of chuckled at me. It was a nurse practitioner, and of course me, I was like, oh, it's a nurse practitioner. He can't possibly be right. So he chuckled at what I said. He said, no, I don't really see anything back there. It could just be a simple cold. And I was like, no, every time I swallow, I can feel pain in these 2 little areas. So this goes on another day or two. I'm starting to freak out at this point. I talk to my wife and I tell her basically, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I really think I have throat cancer. And she's like, Trey, come on, you're not doing this again, are you? Because she knew about all my other issues. And I kept on talking about it over the next few days. And eventually she was starting to get worried, and she actually cried, I think, over this, because I think she started to actually believe me. And she said I was scaring her and this and that, just some of the things that I'm guilty about even to this day for having that is stirring up other people's emotions because of what I was going through. And the crazy thing about it is after a few days, it just went away. And once again, I was left speechless, sitting there thinking like, oh my God, I just went through this whole cycle again. And then that's, I would have a little break period where I would still deal with symptoms, but then it was on to the next disease and on to the next disease. If you're doing this, guys, you have to pick up and realize that you are being irrational. You're having irrational thoughts. This is what health anxiety is. Once you grasp onto that and you start to respect that and accept anxiety, you are going to be on the right path. That's the first thing you got to do, along with figuring out what your root cause of anxiety is. Work on those two things. Change your lifestyle habits around that, and good things will happen. All of my tips for anxiety are down below. Those apply to health anxiety especially, because I dealt with that for 5 long years. If you haven't seen a therapist, consider doing that, because CBT is a very effective therapy for health anxiety. So a psychologist can actually help you with that. If you've never been to therapy before, you can actually do it online now. Hello, technology. Down below is a link. The therapy down there is amazing. You can choose from thousands of therapists. It's cheaper than in-person therapy, and you can do it on the phone, so you don't have to leave your house. Also, make sure that you're meditating, make sure you are journaling, make sure that you're eating right, make sure that you're exercising, watching channels like mine, subscribe to every mental health channel out there. It's always good to get a different perspective. But there's some other resources down there below. Check that out. You can find an anxiety store that has a bunch of books and resources, workbooks for anxiety. Check that out. There's journals down there that you need to be using for anxiety. If you haven't looked at those, go check out the website for that. There's tons of resources. Just go check it out down below. My social media is also down there. Join those if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell so you get updates when I put these videos out. Remember to like this video if you got any value. Remember, the intentions of this video is simply to relate with some of you guys, and that's what I hope I did today. So thanks a lot for watching. Talk to you later.